Hey guys, welcome back to Explainer X. Today, I am going to recap a 1972 thriller horror movie, Name What the Peeper Saw. So, let's begin. At the beginning of the movie, we see a woman named Sarah, who was taking a bath in her bathtub. Then she gets an electric shock, and she dies there. Then we are shown after 1 year, where we see a girl named Elise who had come to her husband Paul's house. And Sarah was Paul's first wife, and Elise is Paul's second wife, and Paul was a businessman. That's why he went out for some work, and Elise was sent by Paul to take care of his 12-year-old son, Marcus. Elise was Marcus's stepmother, and Paul told Elise that Marcus had gone to his boarding school, and he will return home after 1 week. So she had already reached there, but when she reaches there, so she sees that Marcus is already there. And when she asks, Marcus says how he came before. Marcus tells, the school got an early holiday because chickenpox has spread in the school. So Elise makes him believe, but she finds it a bit strange, and she is surprised when she talks to Marcus, because even though he was young, but he talks like an adult. Next morning Paul's call comes, and Paul wanted to talk to Marcus. So Elise goes to call Marcus, and Marcus was taking a bath in the bathtub. Elise gives the phone, and he talks with love. After talking to him, Elise starts talking to Paul. When Elise was talking to Paul, then Marcus comes to Elise and starts touching her in a bad way. Elise is surprised to see such behavior of Marcus, and she also gets angry, but she leaves from there without telling him anything. As time passes, we learn that Marcus has no friends and that Marcus is a bad guy, but Elise takes good care of her. But Marcus is looking at his stepmother the wrong way. After a few days, Marcus's dad comes back after finishing his work. Marcus and Elise go to the airport to pick up Paul. When he was coming home with the car, so the Paul starts touching Elise, which gets Elise's attention away from the road, and they were about to have an accident when Elise takes control of the car. After coming home, Elise and Paul are intimate, and Marcus is playing outside. Then in the evening all three of them go to a hotel for dinner, where Paul asks Elise, have you taken money out of my safe? Then Elise says that no, Marcus took money to pay the taxi. How is it, Marcus, again, that I only took 360 cents? Then she says that you yourself were telling me that I have withdrawn all the money of Dad. On this, Marcus tells Elise that I did not say so. This makes Paul think that maybe Elise has taken the money. That's why after coming home, Elise checks Marcus's room. She does not get money from the room, but she gets a torn letter. One day when Marcus and Paul were swimming, Marcus then tells Paul that Elise doesn't care for me at all. And at the same time he also says that he doesn't like me at all. Elise was also listening to all his talk, but Paul does not pay much attention to Marcus's words, because Marcus is a child and children keep saying anything. Marcus also tells this to Paul, that Elise also searched my room. Paul also asks Elise about it, but Elise does not tell anything. One day Elise goes to school to find out about Marcus, where she finds out that Marcus is not having any holidays. Rather, he has been thrown out of school. He also sent a letter, but that was destroyed by Marcus, the pieces of which were found by Elise in Marcus's room. She finds out at school that Marcus spies on nearby houses and sees people getting intimate, and he kills the cats living near the school. Because of his actions, he was fired. One day Elise goes to a party with Paul, where she meets a woman named Sophie. She tells that Sarah was my friend, and she died by drowning in the bathtub. Now Elise was starting to feel it, that Marcus had killed Sarah. Now Elise also tries to explain all this to Paul and also tells him about Marcus. But Paul does not believe him, and they both get into an argument. One night Elise goes to the floor above some work, and that's when she looks that there is a hole on the ceiling of his bedroom, due to which their bed appears. Seeing this, she immediately thinks of Marcus, and she comes to know that Marcus sees the two of them getting intimate. So Elise immediately rushes to Marcus and asks him why he sees both of them. Then Marcus says that I love doing all this. Elise asked him if he used to see Sarah in the same way. Then Marcus says that he did not enjoy seeing Sarah, that she was not as hot as you. Now Elise asks him, how did Sarah die? Then Marcus says that she had had a heart attack. Hearing this, Elise says that you are lying. She died due to electric shock. Elise tells him that you know a lot, but you are not telling me. On this, Marcus would say that why should I tell you all this? What will I get in it? Then Elise offers him money, but he refuses and says that he wants Elise. Then Elise starts taking off her clothes one by one, and Marcus starts answering her questions. He would say that Sarah had a heart condition. Nobody knew about it. He didn't even tell this to Paul. Marcus says that he came to know about this through a letter from the doctor. And Elise thinks Marcus is lying to her. And Elise doesn't believe him at all and leaves from there. After this, Elise shows that hole to Paul, but when Paul saw it, there was nothing there. Elise tells Paul that Marcus keeps peeping into their room. But Paul does not believe her words, and he also starts to feel that Elise is going crazy. But Elise does not give up. She researches Sarah's death, and she gets to know that Marcus had killed Sarah. Marcus had installed a bad heater in Sarah's bathtub, due to which she got electric shock and she became dead. Now after this, Elise wanted to know more things from Marcus. That's why she asks Marcus, why did he kill Sarah? Then Marcus says that Sarah didn't like him at all. At the same time, he also says that he enjoys torturing people. He tells Elise that it is your turn to die now. Hearing this, Elise becomes mentally disturbed. Now she could not understand what to do because no one was believing his words. And Paul also started feeling that Elise had gone mad. After this, Elise's condition becomes so bad that she is kept in a mental hospital. A few months later, when Elise recovers, then she comes back. One day these three were walking in the park. Paul and Elise were talking, and Marcus was playing with his dog. After some time, Elise and Marcus meet and start talking about Sarah's death. Marcus tells Elise that he won't kill her anymore because he is now liking her. Elise has also started doing strange things with him, and tells Marcus that they will kill Paul and run away somewhere. And Elise also gives a kiss to Marcus. Elise then sees a speeding car. Seeing this, Elise throws the dog's toy on the road. When the dog goes to pick him up on the road, Marcus then runs after her to save her, but Marcus is hit by the car, and Marcus dies there. And seeing the body of Elise, Marcus starts smiling. Now she was free. The plan she made was successful and the movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the video, so click any video of 3 of them and enjoy next. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel, and please like the video and tell us in the comment how you like the video. I see you soon.